It's like I said, I don't miss the days of that run being put in jeopardy because that is annoying.
The Bouncer.
Alright, so we need to stay B mode. So we're going to go with no other upgrades. And see what happens. Did I go to load game or... I did go to extra game. Okay. The game's messing with my memory now. Alright, we got time for this run. I don't know that we're going to have time for a Lion King Mufasa run, unfortunately. Because that was going to be kind of the rando bonus incentive. Was a Mufasa run. Still pretty close to perfect. I got out of the pattern because I got greedy. I don't know what they're doing at the top of the stairs here, but the fact that they can't do any damage is driving me nuts. That's the second run in a row where they have done 0.
You ready?
Because I appreciate when they do something, but still, 1 minute to get through there is fine. Not getting any other moves, not going to A rank, nothing. Stay at B the whole way through. It worked for Volt, and it seemed like it shouldn't have. But we quickly found out that all of Volt's extra moves are garbage, so you don't need them. I'll tell you this much, Mike. The tubular level was hilarious. There was one randomization that happened in tubular that I wasn't expecting, and it completely threw me for a loop. Nice, 154 through there. That's pretty good. Let's go okay here, continue here. Popo Tinha, thank you for the follow. I was trying to figure out how to pronounce your name. But cool, thanks for following. Welcome to the stream. We'll come up with a name for this community at some point. I like yo-yos, but yo-yos makes it sound like not good. I don't know.
You ready?
Well, just welcome to the fine group of people. That's what we are today. Nice. Kick somebody in the armpit and move on. Yeah, the Mario World randomizer was fun. Like, I can very much see myself getting into those. Whoops, wrong way. Very true. Well, and Popo, that's what I was looking up. Is I think it was a launch game. If it wasn't a launch game, it was really close. Now we're here. The thing about it, though, that we've been finding out very quickly is the extra difficulty, the New Game Plus, it presents some pretty interesting tricks. Namely, that we apparently want to keep characters under leveled. Like, we save up XP that we could use to buy moves, because those moves just end up making the game harder. Alright. We're here for the third time. Hoping to get through this run once. Because I don't know what my excuse is now. When a normal Sion run dies, it's because Sion has terrible health. But in this run, where Sion has maxed out health, it's like, what's your excuse? Ah, chained him into the middle there. Wanted to chain him into his buddy. That works. The goal now, Mike, is to see if we can find either a Mario 2 or a Lost Levels randomizer. Because I tried to find a Lost Levels randomizer and one doesn't exist yet. At least not one that I was able to find. You can stop overachieving any time now, Echidna. That's getting very annoying. Figured. If they block, they're already into their script, and at that point, you just have to abandon any hope of getting through without having to counter something. Oh, nice. 529 is pretty usual for Echidna. This game has so much story. I'm trying to remember how long it took. We ran a timer when we did the lore run, which was where we watched all the cutscenes, and I think it took close to 2 hours. And the actual run was fine. I mean, it was a normal 25, 26-minute run, but there are literally an hour and a half of cutscenes in this game. You gotta appreciate Sion's jorts, though. John Cena wears jorts, so clearly they're a source of great power. Skip that. And it is significant storyline that you skip. The fact that you were on a nuclear train that was going to crash. Like, it's pretty important. But as the speedrun goes, you never know that. Oh, right. Alright, well, gonna need you to distract these guys for me. Thank you. Oh, no! There's a technique you can do there. Where you return your controller just to flat, and it will break contact. But that time, I didn't want to do it. There we go. Got it both times there. And that's always my favorite thing to show people who used to know, like, this game growing up, is that in this hallway, and in the hallway where you escort Dominique, you don't have to fight anything. You just have to run to the end. A true speed run in every sense of the word. Run to the end. And that aggro range. He re-engaged that twice, even though the guy he was fighting was on the ground. This way. Nice. That's how you want to do that to get around him. Skip. All right, we're good. No, Ko! Like we had a line there and Ko took us off center. These guys just decide they want to block you into the Stone Age. This takes so much longer. Yeah, you should never be at the part where it's turning that angle. That fight should never take that long.
The ships.
I'm actually just trying to remember the order of events here. Because I want to get through this once for you guys. And if we get to the end, we're gonna watch the end cutscene. Because that's always fun. But I'm like, we just gotta get through a couple sticky points. He only took 3 kicks while we're at B rank. Which I think means that their health has not gone up that much. That was really good coordination there on that dog. Because both times the dog ricocheted off the enemy, it ricocheted off him, so extra damage out the wazoo, which we will take every time. Alright. Which is surprising, Mike. Going away. Sion. Sion is deciding to forget how to play, which is always annoying. Alright, so we're back to the vanilla strats of kicking people in the back when they're not looking ready. Yeah, again, a lot of these things not going quite as optimally as they do in actually the regular run. In the regular run, a lot of these go faster because they have less health. And then you can kind of manage the enemies, chain the enemies, set them all up a lot quicker. Which is what we tend to look for in the vanilla run. And in this version, it just doesn't want to play nice for some reason. Old quick way to get damage on Getsu is not actually fight him, but just use the dog to chain into him. Ah. It's pretty clear that knocking down at least Dauragon, he's the one that's most easy to tell. Knocking him down resets his script and gives you a chance to kind of get him somewhat predictable. I think because the other enemies have so many things they can do instantly when they get up, it's a little bit harder to tell. But Dauragon especially, when he gets up, there are moments of he's trying to figure out what to do next. And you have to pounce on him. And sadly, blocking is a thing he can do, which buys him time to think, and then if you do like the rolling kick where you have down frames, then he can just decide to hit you. You run away? You can't run away. You've never run away before. Alright. It's interesting how many fights in extra game you route differently. Just because, like, you would know that 2 knockdowns on that guy would kill him. But it doesn't in extra game. And so you have to kind of take into account the fact that more enemies are just hanging around not doing much than there would be in a normal playthrough. Because when the enemies are hanging around not doing much, they can just be hitting you in the back. As these guys in particular love to do. No worries, Skip. Yeah, this is the last run, dude, so you made it through pretty well to the end. I hope you have a good day, dude. Great stream if you stream. Oh, almost hit the door. If you miss the door the first time, it's hard to hit quickly because it always the camera whips around in such a way that you can't really run against it. So you have to wait for it to spin. Alright, now. Nice. Trying something new here. It almost worked. We just got a ridiculous amount of XP. In the vanilla run, that would be beautiful. In the vanilla run, that would have meant safety strats for days. Look at that, 1,005. Nowhere else in this run are you going to get that much experience. From just the battle, not even including like the bonus that you got there. Which I suppose can make for an interesting subcategory, you know? Like, how much XP can you get in the course of a run? It wouldn't be fast, though, that's for sure. Ah, I hate when they attack from off screen like that. And then they start rolling and jumping. Worst tech support crew ever. Why do the guards look like pizza delivery people? Darkins, you are asking the real questions here, dude. They do, though, because they do this. And even in the segment with Ko where you have to pose, one of the poses is the pizza pose. There we go. We actually got the semi-good manip there because we got Chaldea to attack in the wrong direction. Which is what I was mentioning earlier as one of those ways you can prove that the AI's trying to guess, and sometimes it just guesses completely wrong. And there's not a whole lot of rationale behind it. I mean, I'm sure there is in the guts of the game, which is why I wish I knew how to get into and read the guts of said game. But as far as what scripts they go into and when, it's just a matter of trying to get the good ones, avoid the bad ones. See, he likes to counter your standard punches. Although one of the ways that it still seems possible to confuse the bosses is to manipulate their position on the ground. Because when they get up, it's almost like they have to take a second to be like, wait, I'm not where I fell down. Why am I here? And then you can hit them in that time, but the timing's pretty narrow. That Volt fight must have just been perfect the other night. Well, we're hanging in there so far, which is always my famous last words of the run. Because I realized that, like, saying we're doing good was almost a death sentence. So then I'm like, alright, well, I'll say we're hanging in there. And then I say we're hanging in there for everything, and the runs die shortly after that. Back to the Star Wars music. Go up and around here. Back down that way, and we're good to go. And as we get better at the breaking combat strat, we can take those a lot closer, because we can get further into their aggro range and just break out of it before they attack. But for now, the safer route seems to be kind of the way to go. That was actually a good one because the way we broke put us on the stairs, which was fairly effective. Hard cut here, downstairs. Again, it still drives me nuts that you cannot skip the running downstairs animation. When you're in the Mikado building, that animation where he runs through a door. He literally just runs through a Mass Effect style door. You can skip it, but you can't skip the stair climb. Ooh, this is not good. The safe route there. Alright, solid break and stairs. And I never knew you could skip that part playing the game growing up either, because I always liked the idea of getting more and more XP. So especially once you got, like, overpowered, it was like, why wouldn't you fight those guys? When you have enough health, why wouldn't you try and take them out? Alright, so far the B rank strats are hanging in there. We've not purchased one upgrade this entire third clear, and it seems like some of the enemies, they're not quite dumber, but they do seem to have a little bit less health. So I think they might be B rank as well. When you kick him and he just falls. Okay. See, that's the other thing you can technically do to a lot of these enemies, is if you know which way they're going to stand up, you can just get behind them from the start. And that has pulled that run to decent progress so far. We still have to face the two enemies that knocked out our last two.
Dominique, you all...
And that is, of course, Echidna, the second Echidna fight, and the final Dauragon fight, fourth Dauragon fight, which is great because nothing says a game ran out of characters quite like fighting one boss 4 times. Even if you do it in Pokemon, at least there is a bunch of other stuff going on in this game, you know? We'll rolling kick our way through these. That's why the rolling kick isn't great.
Ready?
A bit of an issue. The first bot, one kick away from dying, but didn't die. Remember what I said earlier about the enemies being able to sneak up behind you? That's what he almost did there.
Ready?
They get so much defense in the extra playthroughs. 50 bits from RDT World. RDT, what's up? Thank you so much for stopping in. Super happy about that. The 50 motivational bits for the last little part of the run here. If we world record RD, this is for you. If we don't world record, well, then you get another run for you later. She got away from them. That's really good Echidna. Now, Echidna is one of the enemies that suffers most from, at least it seems like, because I'm still not entirely sure that it's a legit strat as much as it is a superstition. These things happen. If she's the one who suffers the most from, if you manipulate her position on the ground, either via a kick or just pushing her, then you can come out of it with a lot more. You come out of it being able to hit her in a much bigger window than in the regular one where she'll just spring up and then start doing all of her gymnastics, kicks, and stuff. It just kind of mess you up. Alright, we gotta pick Ko now. Alright. Pass through the dangerous part of the run. You want to stick with low punches in this Mugetsu fight. Sometimes you'll see me do that roundhouse. It's because I'm mashing too enthusiastically. That was good. He, again, can be the ender of worlds and the eater of runs fairly quickly. So getting through him that fast is fine. Oh, neighbor's outside. He's about to fire up the lawnmower. I looked over. I'm like, I don't know if he heard me. Dog Panther time. Transform. The double hits. Okay, that is, I would suggest that's as good as that fight can go. I mean, you look there, not even a 2-minute fight. If you get her to stay in Panther form, you're fine. If she turns back, you gotta do the low kick, low kick, low kick, and it just eats up a little bit of time. Tell him to wait for like an hour. I don't think he's gonna... I don't think so, Mike. I wish you'd understand, but... Manipulate his position on the ground. He does... he didn't get confused there, but he did his least effective attack.
You ready?
I wish Volt would stop calling for the Trinity attack because it doesn't work. Well, run around here. Playing this last fight safe because I don't want to die. Like, we've messed around with this run enough. We need to just complete one. Alright, so it seems as though... I know, says he's not going to mess around with run anymore, proceeds to mess around further. There are ways to wait for him to break his guard. The Sion method may be waiting for him to break his guard, because I think especially when you try and chain the kick has such a startup time that he can figure out what he wants to do. So the pseudo goal is to chain punches. Kind of like that. And then hope that when he gets up, he'll face. That was kind of nonsense, and now we are in trouble. It's because Sion's hits don't get behind him. That's... Okay. We got a knockdown to reset him. But didn't quite work. Oh, come on. Got him! Thank goodness. That's not a run I want to do anytime. I don't want to do that run again anytime soon. Alright, we started... what did we start with? Sion into... Alright, so that's 21, IGT. The run is the done. So we'll watch the rest of this now, because we finally get to watch the true ending. He thumps down on the ground, defeated. Or is he?
And you still couldn't beat me with all those moves. You've lost.
Sion, stop making it about you. That was not about you, Sion. That was a bit of a team effort.
Dominique.
Ow, and then you get the standard ending. That part's disappointing. So you get the standard ending after the "you couldn't beat me with those fancy moves. Show me your moves." And she runs up and she's happy. We get love as a gift. He runs through the rain and he meets her. Do we need a third clear saved anywhere? Probably not. But I'll save it down here just because. All right, well, that is world record number 19 of 50 for the 50 world record challenge. Yay, go us. All right, I'm going to find somebody to raid because the stream was right up on 3 hours. This is normally what I want for a Sunday. We can turn you down, little game. Let's see here. Total War Arena. The Bouncer.
The Bouncer.
Do 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 da 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 dum da dum dum da da dum dum.